that's right. We got a double shot of my baby's love. I've got two of the Swingin Medallions sitting right here with me this afternoon. I've got Shawn McElrath. I've got Richard Loper, and we're going to have a good time here this afternoon, just talking about the good old days, talking about what's new and exciting. I happen to know, I put this on Facebook, but I happen to know we're going to bust out with their new song this afternoon. How about that? How long has it been since you had a song there, Shawn? You need to pull that microphone over.
It's been about 50 years, maybe.
About 50 years?
Somewhere in there.
50? That's all?
60, I don't know. This is the first one that's been released, I guess
nationwide release. We've done recordings that we just sold at shows and things like that, but we've not had anything that we basically put out there in the marketplace for the world to hear.
Wow. Well, this is going to be very exciting. Now, what did it take to since you haven't done one of these, what did it take to do this?
Well, we wrote the song with Kyle Weaver and some other people, and we've just recorded it, and it's now ready to be released. And through Goat Island Productions, which is Kyle Weaver and Robbie Cox, they're putting it out for us through all platforms
on Friday.
On
Friday,
midnight Thursday.
Midnight.
Well, that's Friday.
Friday.
But you can pre-purchase it, pre-buy it right now online. There's links on our Facebook.
Come on, you're spoiling my story here now. Come on. This is special here today that we're getting right here in Greenwood to play this on the radio.
Yeah, so definitely. It's not out yet.
It's not out yet.
It is not out there yet.
So we're going to play it in a little bit. I want to keep the anticipation going here today. But you guys are going to be playing tomorrow night right there in Uptown Greenwood.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Hadn't been in Greenwood for a while, so it's time. We love playing in our hometown anytime we can.
Except for the Lander thing.
Well, we did the Lander thing a few months back.
And that was pretty huge because that was naming part of 34 in honor of your dad. Shane, what did that mean to you and your family?
It was incredible, and it's hard to explain how nice that is, how it feels.
Absolutely.
To have my dad
honored
remembered in that way, for sure.
And that'll be, and the deer, when they go across right there, they'll say, "Where's the song? Double shot of my baby's love." I keep telling you guys, I think we have, you were talking about a low-level transmitter. I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah, that's right. You just tune into that when you go by there and hear a little double shot, get a little taste of it.
And the deer would be going back and forth across the street. Anyways, this is, when you think back to Shawn, growing up with your dad and everything, for what I've heard from everybody, your dad was a taskmaster. He wanted things right.
He was very strict when just on the road and everything.
Pull that mic over there to you
just a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very strict on the road, and it's helped us learn. So we appreciate it now, but back then we didn't care for it that much.
He just knew how he wanted things. He was kind of a perfectionist when it came to his music, because the band was his baby.
Right.
He created it and kept it running all those years, and so here are all these kids coming along, me and Shawn and Shane and Robbie and Koss, high school and college kids, and he's trying to teach us how to be professional musicians. And so we had some big shoes to fill. And it came up fast. Because we had played as the Double Shot Gang off and on here and there, but when it came time to be the Swingin Medallions, he was ready to go, and he like I said, he wanted it done his way, and who could blame him?
Well, I understand. So, did you ever sneak out and do something that you just hoped he didn't find out about? Go ahead, you can tell us right here this afternoon.
I'm not sure I can do that on radio.
Come back and haunt us.
I just thought I
did, but I never got caught.
You never got caught.
So I can't tell. So
yeah, so there you go. But I think that sometimes it is so cool that you and your brother are still the original, have carried on since the beginning there. And so many bands today, they don't have that connection to the past. Different people come in; they don't have any relationship. What do you think?
Well, we're a bit different because most of us had played with my dad for a long time, and we kind of know. But we're having to teach the new guys, what my dad taught us. So it's good that I have people like Richard that have been in the band 40 years, with us, and just the knowledge that they pass on to the younger guys.
You little young whippersnappers better do it right or else.
Definitely. Do you have any trouble teaching them the dance routines, or is there any resistance? There you go. Maybe that's a better word. Resistance. I think
they're tempted to kind of jazz it up sometimes and take it and run with it from time to time. There's a couple of young guys. You'll turn around and look, and they'll be doing something just kind of off the wall. And go, where did that come from?
You were going to say something different.
I almost, yeah.
I don't think we have dance routines. We just kind of move.
We look at each other and go, hey, that looks pretty good. I'll do that.
Everybody just does their own thing, and sometimes it syncs up.
It syncs up. Yeah, but you do have some. I mean, some of those
yeah,
routines.
the ones that go back to the 60s, we're not able to change those.
Yeah, we try
unfortunately, we have to. Those are.
We try to be true to the original band and do a lot of their dance moves and do things the way
So that's
they
what
would
I'm saying. What about the young guys? Do you have any trouble getting them to do some of these routines? Do they go, "Oh, that's so dumb"?
No. They think that, I'm sure.
Just keep it to themselves.
But
nobody says anything because they might not get their check.
Right.
Well, that's great. You have fans all over, and I am sure having fans just really makes your day. I know when I'm on the radio and somebody makes a comment like, "Wow, Ann, that was a cool comment," it just really gets your heart going, doesn't it?
You feel like you're doing something right.
Yeah.
You feel like it's worth all the trouble.
Right, exactly. And I guess when you get to go to places, you go and just have a good time and perform maybe one night, and the other time you're just out there soaking up some rays, laying on the beach. I mean, that kind of stuff, right?
We're on the highways.
Yeah, I was going to say, not a lot of downtime. Most of the time our schedule gets us there in time to do a sound check, have some dinner, change clothes, play, and then on to the next one. So, everybody's like, wow, you're at the beach. I'm like, I saw the beach. It was behind us,
But it's good to see familiar faces.
It is.
On the road, and we know lots of people that have been come to see us before we were in the band.
Right. I know that at the thing at Lander there were some people there that had to have followed you all for years and years and years.
There were people that flew in from Texas and Arizona and
really,
yeah,
I
they
did
flew
not
in
know
just
that.
for that. I
Wow.
mean, I was flattered and amazed that they thought that much of us, but they felt like they knew John, grew up with the band, listening to the band, and just felt like they needed to be there. And I think a few of them had Lander connections also, and so.
It was a good reunion.
It was a good reunion opportunity for them to see old friends and reconnect with some of the original guys from the band that were there that night.
Well, and Shawn, y'all's connection to Lander, with the fact that your dad went to Lander, y'all went to Lander, and the establishment of the scholarship fund over there is pretty huge too.
Oh. But
yes.
it is.
Yeah.
His name lives on at Lander. I mean, there's a great scholarship there that's in John and Jane's name, and you can still contribute to that if you feel led. You can go to the Lander Foundation and just make a notation that it's for the McElrath Music Scholarship, because I've met some of the kids there that have gone through Lander on that scholarship, and they have gone on and done great things in their lives just because they were able to get that education.
Sure, I think Ben Bagwell.
Yeah, Ben Bagwell is currently on that scholarship, and of course he's just a phenomenal musician. His mom and dad are phenomenal people. I mean, his dad went to Lander with me, and Joey is one of the band directors in '96, and of course Monique, his mom, is a professor at Lander. And so, I mean, it's kind of genetic. He had no choice. It's kind of in the blood.
Well, that's great. That's great. Well, as we get ready for tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock in Uptown Greenwood, Greenwood Performing Arts is doing a taste and a toast. And it's going to be a great evening with three other bands. Who else is going to be playing now besides y'all?
Pope and Bert are playing at 6. our old friend Ashby Stokes, who played with us for many years and grew up around the corner from Shawn there, and Aubrey Adams play at 6:30, and then Nick Massey and Ryan Pitts play at 7 o'clock, and then we'll go on at 7:30, and we'll play from 7:30 until 9. So we'll play a 90-minute set.
Yeah, and so that's going to be just so cool. I can't believe that GPA was able to pull that off to get all these great musicians, but it's concentrating on the good things that we have right here in Greenwood. And then we've got 3 different restaurants that are going to be providing food, and 3 different breweries and a winery are going to have libations that are all going to be local. So that's a pretty cool event, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice way of promoting nightlife in Greenwood and things that you can do and stay right here in town and spend your money.
That's right. That's right. And that's a good thing. Penny is lying here over on the floor looking at me. She wants to try out to be one of your dancers. She was so excited when y'all came in. She just loves to stand on 2 feet and dance, so we'll see where she's going. Anyways, one of the things that I think is so neat about Richard, about some of the things that you've done, the last time you were here, we were talking about some of the old stories that, old connections that you have to people that you got to play with.
Yeah.
What's some of your best memories of people?
Well, I mean, one of the things that Shawn and I got to do here in Greenwood years ago, I think, probably while we were still at Lander, was the Temptations came to town.
Wow.
And they were playing at Civic Center, and they wanted us to open for the band, open for them. And so we played and opened for them. And of course, Shawn and I, they hire their horn section wherever they go. Their band leader comes in early that day and works the band, the backup band, the horn section. Shawn and I and Wayne Free, our trombone player at the time, all played in the backup band. And so playing behind the Temptations, that's tough. I mean, because you hear all those records, you hear all those horn parts, and then you see it on sheet music, you see it on paper, and that is some of the toughest sheet music I had ever seen in my life. And I was playing third trumpet. I was sitting, John Cooper was playing second, and Tim Bivens, who's a Lander alumni, was playing first. I said, put me on third, because I'm going to be dragging after I come off stage playing anyway. But that was a great memory, and again, it was right here in our backyard.
Wow.
Another reason I missed the Civic Center, just there were so many memories in that building from all the reunions and Lander dances and Festival Flowers dances we did there over the years. But yeah, playing with the Temptations was definitely a highlight and something I'll probably tell the grandkids about years from now.
So, so in one day you have to be able to read the music and play it.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, they basically, I think we got there like around lunchtime and basically worked for 2 or 3 hours, and then you had a little break and played the show. And like I said, they've got their.
We were familiar with the song.
Yeah, we were familiar with the song.
Yeah,
when you see it on paper, and
it's a different thing.
Yeah, when you see it on paper, and it looks like somebody dipped a chicken in ink and turned him loose on sheet music. Turned him loose on staff paper. But it was a lot of it was handwritten, and you could see people's notes through the years they'd written on the music. To kind of give you a little bit of help, but it was intimidating.
And so to be standing, so I guess the place was packed.
Had a full house that night, had a good crowd, and like I said, opening for those guys. Like I said, at that time, Shawn and I were still in college. I mean, so we had just really gotten started and had some experience on the road, but playing, opening for the Temptations was kind of like a little nervous. And I think I told you the story where their bass singer, Blue Melvin, was standing off stage watching us, and he didn't look happy. He was kind of standing over with his arms crossed watching us. I'm like, oh my God, he hates us. We stink. So.
Is this when you were playing as the Swingin'
Yeah, we were
Medallions
playing
before?
Swingin'.
We were opening up for him.
We were opening for him.
Okay.
I kept kind of looking over at him. He kind of was watching us pretty intently, and I'm like, I don't know about this. So when we finished, I was one of the first guys off stage, and I had to walk past him, so I kind of tried to avoid eye contact with him. And with that big booming baritone voice that you hear on all their records, he says, "Hey, you, come here." So I kind of walk over real sheepishly with my head down, like, "Yes, sir." He said, "Y'all are pretty good for a bunch of white boys." And then he started laughing and giggling, and he was just the sweetest, nicest guy. And he stood over there and talked to us for the longest time. And he asked about Shawn because we got that thing in shotgun where they pick him upside down. And he plays his solo upside down. He said, "Y'all ever drop that white boy on his head?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, many times." But
is that what happened to you?
He questioned, he asked all kind of questions about the band. Why you do this? Why you do it like that? And he was just the sweetest, nicest guy, and didn't have to be. I mean, this is a guy that's in the Rock and Roll Music Hall of Fame, and he's standing here talking to me, taking time out of his, time before he goes on stage to sit there and talk to me. I just thought that was cool. But
those type of things, though, they make an impression on you for the rest of your life.
Did. And, and we were talking earlier about cell phones and how everybody basically has a cell phone in their pocket now. Part of me wishes I had a cell phone back then, because I would have gotten more autographs and taken more pictures at that time. I just didn't think about it at the time. You just think, this is never going to end. This is going to happen all the time. And we have lost so many of those people, because he died not long after that. And we have lost so many heroes that we've had and played with through the years. I wish I'd have gotten more autographs and taken more pictures.
Who else was a big one that you got to play with that you felt, wow, I got to play with?
Bruce Springsteen.
Now that's pretty huge. I'll give you that one. When was that?
I don't know, 10 years ago?
About 10 years ago at the Bilo Center. He made a point to invite the guys on stage and sing Double Shot. He loves Double Shot.
Did you know you were going to do it? Yes.
Oh yeah, his people talked to our people, and he wanted us to come see.
I'm impressed.
Well, we didn't really have any people. It was just
we'll have your people call our people.
It was just Granger,
right?
Yeah, or Brother Hines,
right?
But go ahead.
His people, but yeah, we just went up and sang Double Shot with him during his show, and he was, real nice to us, and he hugged me, and he was real sweaty.
Real sweaty.
Yeah, very sweaty. But he had just done a 3-hour show, so. He was incredible. Yeah,
his shows are marathons. I mean, he plays, without a break. I mean, 2 or 3 hours without any thought. But come to find out, he was a fan of the original band.
For real.
And when he was a kid, he followed them when they played up and down the shore back in the day. And so, he actually there was an article in Rolling Stone or something years ago where he actually credited the band as one of his influences. He called us a garage band.
Garage band.
Garage rock, I think is what he called it. But he does a countdown show on XM radio. He has his own channel called E Street Radio, and he does a countdown every week. And he did a countdown of, I think he called it Garage Bands. And he picked Double Shot as his #1 song that week.
Wow.
And so that was kind of flattering that he still like. And from what I understand, he plays that song a lot of nights on the road. That he just likes that organ part that Shawn's dad kind of patented, that you hear that da 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 da, you know exactly what it is.
Before you even
I can name that song in 3 notes. Da da da.
Yeah, well, you need more than that for your repertoire to win on those shows.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of cool to have him as a fan.
What did you think about it, Shawn? I mean, was it a really big deal to you too?
Oh, it was, and there was just 3 or 4 other original guys, and I got to go in my dad's place because he wasn't feeling up to traveling or whatever, so I got to go in his place. So I was the only young one that got to go. It was really the original guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was all original, and then I happened to get to go. So.
There's a really bad cell phone video of it on YouTube that you can watch. The audio's not great and the camera's real shaky, but it's pretty cool if anybody wants to check it out. Just go online. You can find it on YouTube.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, we are here with Shawn McElrath and Richard Loper, part of the Swinging Medallions. We've got time to. We're going to be playing their new song. Now, what is the name of this new song? This new release?
Hit Me With Them Horns. Is that it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's it.
You're looking at me for.
I was asking Ann if that was
That's the one I got, anyways.
Robbie sent you the right one there.
Okay, all right. And you were telling us, if you're just tuning in, that this is the first original song in 50 years?
It's the first one that's been released in this fashion, I guess.
And really, Double Shot was not an original song to the Medallions. It had been done before, but so this is.
This is.
So this is the first original song that we've put out there for for public consumption.
60 plus years.
Yeah.
60.
Because the few things that we have done over the years have been basically just things that we've done to sell at shows. Nothing that we released.
Right.
Just so this is big time.
So you're excited about it? Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really are. And
we're really excited. Ann.
No, we really are. When you first think about it, it's a little intimidating. But then I've gotten a chance to hear it, and the guy that mastered it up in Nashville is phenomenal. He has worked with so many great people, and so when I heard it, I'm like, wow, that's us. That's too good to be us. That's somebody else playing.
Better than you thought, right?
I was going to say, who are those guys?
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. If you are listening on the radio, you'll hear a commercial break. If you're on Facebook, we're going to have to play some music, and I don't think we should try to play Double Shot right at this moment. But we played it going in, so you did get to hear it. You know that song. I'll play 3 bars when we come back in. And then we've got more to talk about. I'd like to talk about some of your newer members that are part of the band. And, of course, your daughter handling the sound is just another connection to the past with the Swingin' Medallions right here on WCRS Radio. So we will be right back. Don't you go away. That's right. We're right back here. I think I've got us back on the air. I've got the radio quiet. We've got. It's like taking off a plane here, actually.
Really.
Yeah, but I think I got it all accomplished. This is an accomplishment, believe me. We are here with the Swingin' Medallions this afternoon, and it is such an honor to have them here in studio with us. I said we'd play a little of, so we'll try it. A little double shot of My Baby's Love. Okay, that's it. No,
That was enough.
okay, that's all I'm gonna play. You know, I gotta ask y'all, do you ever get tired of playing the same music?
No.
No?
Yeah.
No?
No.
I mean, you know, do you ever and here's the other question. Is everything always do you ever feel like I just phoned it in tonight?
No.
Ever? No?
As long as the crowd is into it, we're into it.
Right.
There's some times when you have crowds that are kind of, you know.
Right.
We used to do a lot more conventions and things like that, and you would go in there and they would want you to play dinner music, you know, while they're having dinner. And like, we're not a dinner band, you know. We got 6 horns on stage. We're going to probably upset you because you're not going to be able to have a conversation while we're playing.
Right.
And you know, some of those crowds would kind of, I won't say frustrate you, but it was a little harder to kind of get up for a show like that. But shows like we do here in Greenwood, like the thing we did at Lander, 90% of the shows we do are outdoor festivals and concert series. The crowds are always up and into it, and so you're more into how the crowd is reacting to you than thinking about what you're doing. It's
Okay.
just all. It's just, you know, you feed off of it.
So how did speaking of that then, how at Lander did Christy's son Ethan inspire you to play on? Because he was really tearing it up that afternoon, that evening over there at Lander. The little 5-year-old that was
That just keeps you
tearing up.
moving. It just gives you energy. Just catching.
Right.
But that's cool that somebody his age gets into what we're doing.
Exactly.
You know, I always joke that we appeal to people from 8 to 80. You know, and so you know, here he is, 5 years old, and he's jamming. He's having a good time out there. He's dancing his feet off.
He was doing some break dancing
He
there.
was, man. He was doing some moves that maybe we need to get him as a choreographer.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
He probably, because he just feels that music. I mean, when it starts happening, he just feels that music.
And sometimes a night can be better than other nights.
Right.
So you can have an off night, but usually nobody else knows but yourself. But as long
I
as you don't
sometimes
show
feel-
it, as
right.
long as you try not to show it, you know you're okay. You just have to keep pushing through.
Yeah,
And
Right.
you feel like
So-
whether you got 10 people in front of you or 10,000 people in front of you, they still paid to be there.
Right,
You still owe them a show.
right.
you got to do the best
And those
you
10
can.
people, you're going, all right, I'll play.
Now, sometimes you get loose when there's only 10 people there, and you're just like, okay, I'm fine.
We're gonna have band practice tonight. We're gonna
There's
play-
no pressure at all.
Yeah,
We're gonna play
you
some
know.
stuff we never played just
And
for
we-
fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's true,
And
too.
then you can practice new songs that, you know.
You can try it out on something. How do you like this one?
I didn't think about this.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know. Sometimes I'm on the radio and I'll go, well, that wasn't really that good. Then I'll go back and listen to it and I'll go, well, it wasn't that bad either, Ann.
Exactly.
I think you're always your own biggest critic.
Right.
And that was one thing that Shawn's dad taught us is you don't acknowledge a mistake. You don't look at each other when there's a mistake made, or say anything to anybody on stage. You don't acknowledge it because
Well, you try not to, but
Yeah,
that's not really
It's
how
hard.
it
It's hard
happens.
to sometimes when somebody really does something. You want to try and go, what in the was that?
Right.
But you know, because 99% of people will never know that you screwed something up or messed something up. So just roll on and go with the punches.
Unless you have a bad look on your face.
Yeah,
and then they can tell.
And that's the thing about it. If you make a face or you turn around and look at somebody and make a face, it's kind of like you just held up a sign going, "We screwed up."
Right.
And like I said, most people would never know if you didn't acknowledge the mistake. You just kind of roll on and keep on getting it.
Well, Shawn, how is it to have your daughter on board with you as your sound engineer?
Oh, it's excellent. She's doing a great job. And but about 2 years or so at least that she's been working with us, and she drives me everywhere. And
drives you everywhere.
Yeah, she's a great driver.
Who drives the truck? You know, I remember when y'all used to have. Didn't y'all used to have a bus?
We did.
We've had a few buses over the years.
We both
Okay.
drove
And the
the
last
bus.
time over there at Lander, I saw that big old box truck, and it said the Swingin' Medallions not for hire or something.
We've always had that.
Did you? Okay.
We've
Well, I
always
just
one
had
of
never
those.
seen it before, and I was like, "Oh my God, where's the bus?"
Josh Snelling drives that, but we've always had a whole road crew to go set up before.
That's an
us.
expensive
Now we just have two
undertaking.
vans instead of a bus.
Yeah.
It's easier. The bus is hard to. I mean, you have to really plan to have the bus.
You do, and there's some places that the buses just don't work. I mean,
Like we can't go to the Highlands
yeah.
To Highlands.
in a bus.
Yeah, you go to the mountains in a bus, it's not going to work. That's just so. Yeah, the two vans right now work best for us. Now that may change down the road sometime, but right now the two vans we getting a couple of vans, and the road crew goes a couple hours ahead of us with the equipment and set everything up by the time we get there.
As soon as the new song hits, we'll just get a bus and just go to California.
And a jet and a helicopter.
And so all that'll be
All
coming
that.
soon. All that'll be coming soon. Well, I think we should go ahead and let people hear this new song. What do you think?
Oh yeah,
Sure.
Right here on WCRS. We will pull it up. Anything you want to tell us about it now, Shawn or Richard? We've got Shawn McElrath, Richard Loper with us from the Swingin' Medallions. Anything y'all would like to tell us about this song before I play
Well,
it?
my cousin John Smith is the lead singer on it,
Okay.
and we all play. Richard plays trumpet, and I play.
And there's a lot of sing-along stuff that we did together. And this was recorded all over the place. We did a lot of it in studio here in Greenwood. Some of it was done in Nashville, Tennessee. We took recording equipment, and we were in Panama City Beach a while back, and did a bunch of recording in Panama City Beach just for fun.
party tracks and
little
stuff.
party tracks, people hooping, hollering, and yelling, and singing along and stuff like that. So it takes a lot to put this together. How many tracks was it all together? You remember offhand how many tracks it was? It was crazy.
Hundreds.
How many tracks we put together. But somebody asked me the other day to kind of what I thought about it, and I said it's like we put the 1966 band into a time machine and sent them into the future and gave them new technology and said, okay, kind of, I won't say recreate Double Shot, but make a hoop and holler and throw down party song that kind of.
Isn't there a story about y'all had just a little recording of Double Shot, and it was at a recording where you were playing or something. Then you went into the studio and it didn't have the sound effects with it, and it just didn't sound the same. Is that, did I read that somewhere?
You mean the original recording?
original.
Well,
Of Double Shot. We're talking
yeah,
about
the
Double
original.
Shot.
Their agency made them record in Atlanta, and then they recorded there, but they never liked the version that the
Right,
the
that's what I thought,
producers
right.
wanted them to record.
It
So they
was-
went to Charlotte to Arthur Smith's studio.
From
and
what
recorded
Shawn,
Double
from
Shot.
What, from what Shawn's dad used to tell us was the Atlanta version was too polished. It was too clean. It was too pretty. It didn't sound like a live recording. It didn't sound like they were at a frat house or frat party.
Right.
And so they went into Arthur Smith Studios, and from what I've been told, they literally pulled people off the street to come in and hoop and holler and yell and make it sound like a party.
Paid them $5.
Next time you hear it, pan it from left to right, and you'll hear the different tracks that you don't normally pick up on, and you'll hear some of the vocal tracks and some of the yelling and screaming in the background that kind of gets lost in the recording somewhat.
Right.
Sometimes people will come up to and say, "Yeah, I was on the street, and I was one of the ones that went."
For real?
Yeah,
I have.
That is so
that's
cool.
weird, yeah.
That is so cool.
their claim to fame.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anybody could say that if they wanted to. So.
I expect a lot of people to be tomorrow night at the show saying, "Hey, I was there."
It was me.
Where's my check?
Where's my check?
On a royalty check.
Yeah.
As soon as we get one.
That was the other thing. Wasn't royalties back then was just so minuscule? Yes, pennies or something. Was it?
It's nothing.
Well, they didn't have BMI and ASCAP like they do now, that actually are in the business of collecting the money and getting it to who it belongs to. And that's the other. You had so many great artists back then that sold millions of records and had lots and lots of airplay, but never saw any of the money.
Right.
We're one of them.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
It is. I know it is. I know.
Well,
But
if you're doing this to get rich, you're doing it for the wrong reason. You got to love what you do, and if the money comes, that's great. But you do it because you love it and you love the fans and you enjoy what you do.
that's why I'm
Ditto.
here every day.
That's right. Hey,
Us too.
All right. Well, let's play this song. It's the new hit by the Swingin' Medallions. It's their first single in many, many years, and it is going to be played first right here on the radio on WCRS. Hit me with them horns. Woo-hoo. Take it away. Woo-hoo.
Man, do it loud in a weird voice. That's a bad idea.
You said that's a bad idea.
Never blown before. Get everybody moving on the dance floor. Blow it cool, play it while they get bites. Slide into the keep on grooving it tight. Appreciate you coming to the show. We'll keep it ripping, sipping party mode. Every time you hear the band play, you know we only want to hear you sing. Hit me with the horns, baby. Rock me all along, baby. Hit me with the horns, baby. Rock me all along, baby. They can take some more. Just keep it pumping till they fight on the dance floor. Blow it loud, they get bad out of sight. The beat is thumping and they're feeling alright. I think it's flying almost out of control. Now it's different flipping party mode. So raise your hand if you're hitting your right. We'll keep you rocking till the dead of night. Hit me with the horns, baby. Rock me all along, baby. Hit me with the horns, baby. Rock me all along. Tapping on the low end, trumpet screaming up top, trombone sliding around the middle. You know that saxophone won't stop. Rock me on along, baby. Hit me with the horns, baby. Rock me on along, baby.
radio. I said corn, I'm sorry.
All right, cut.
I don't know why.
So what is all that about?
I don't know what all that
The guy that
talking
mastered
was.
it in Nashville kept it.
Well,
It's pretty. It's something. Just.
I don't know who
something
that
different.
is talking. That wasn't Richard or I.
No,
that was
okay.
some of the
Neither
young
one of us
people.
said that.
Some of the young people, and we don't even know who those people are.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know.
so how do you like it now that you hear it on the radio?
Sounds the same on the radio.
Sounds the same on the radio. Well, hallelujah. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And he sent me the
Thank
right
you.
track.
I think that could be the right track.
Could be the right
That
track.
Could be the right.
So, well, that is pretty cool. Pretty cool. You can see the reminiscent of the past mixed in with the future, like
Yeah.
you're talking
Oh, yeah.
about. That's pretty cool. And are you all going to be able to play that tomorrow night right there
Seems
in Uptown
like
Greenwood?
maybe.
Yeah, well, you have to show up and see.
Have to show up and see. All right.
right.
Well, they're going to
We'll
be
see.
playing tomorrow night, Uptown Greenwood, at the Greenwood Performing Arts Toast and Taste at Uptown Greenwood, right there at the marketplace. We're going to have food. We're going to have libations. We're going to have music. It is going to be a total celebration of good things right here in Greenwood. Now, the only problem is we couldn't have every band play that's really great, and we couldn't provide every food that's really great. Lisa did have to, and I'm putting this on Lisa. Lisa did have to limit the number that were there. Otherwise, we'd be there all night.
We'd
What
like to
was
thank-
wrong with that?
We'd like to thank Lisa
Yeah.
for her hard work.
Yeah, she does a
Absolutely.
great job here in Greenwood. She really does. She works hard at what she does.
Yeah, and she's over in Italy right now, so
Oh,
she's
tough.
working.
Tough
Right.
life. Yeah, she'll.
She's gonna have a little jet lag.
I was gonna say
tonight,
she
right?
can be dragging tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's right. And she just celebrated a birthday over in Italy, too. So
Wow,
how
yeah.
about that? Happy birthday,
That's awesome.
Lisa. So you can get your tickets at the door, at the gate right there in Uptown Greenwood, or you can go ahead and order them online at greenwoodperformingarts.org. That's greenwoodperformingarts.org. Read all about it. Tickets are just $30. Can you believe that? That's a bargain.
It really is. I mean, to be able to see that much music and have some great gourmet food from a great chef and have some beverages, that's a pretty good deal.
Absolutely. So come out and enjoy the night. Like we said, we're going to start off at 6 o'clock. Have you got that list of who starts off at 6 o'clock there, Richard?
Pope and Bert start off, and then Ashby, and you had to ask me that, didn't you?
Yeah.
I had my list in front of me earlier.
Right, and-
I was cheating.
And then coming up
Ashby Stokes and Aubrey Adams, and then Nick Massey and Ryan Pitts.
and then the Swingin' Medallions will take to the stage, you said, at 7:30.
7:30, yep.
7:30. Now, how many people are actually in the band?
10 or 11, maybe 12.
Depends on who
on who
shows
shows
up.
up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The
We
band is
know
all,
we're gonna have 9 for
yeah,
sure.
the band has always had 8 or 9 guys in it, and then like I say, you never know. Some of the original guys show up from time to time, and of course we always give them the red carpet treatment because they, don't have to play with us, but they enjoy coming and sitting in with us from time to time. So, but yeah, you're gonna get your money's worth. You're gonna get.
I think we'll have Joe Morris will be here.
Yeah, I think Joe's coming. So yeah, we're kind of unusual. There's not many bands that have as many people as we do.
Correct.
That song that you just heard, there's lots of horns in it. There's not many bands like us that still travel with a big horn section. It's
right.
it's tough. I mean, it's lots of bodies and lots of equipment to get up and down the road, and it's not cheap. And
and plus, I guess you need a whole setup crew. You can't do it like I do with one person just doing all this.
yeah, we've got a professional road crew that do a great job setting up and tearing down after shows because. There was a point in time where when Shawn and I first started, we were the road crew.
Right.
You get there 4 or 5 hours before time to play, and you had to set it up, and then after the show, you spent 2 or 3 hours tearing it down and putting it back in the truck. And so that made for long days and nights, and we're not as young as we used to be. We got guys younger and stronger than us doing it now.
Who's some of the up and coming guys in your group?
I guess my cousin John Smith is. I guess he's not too new, but Josh Snelling and John Smith are kind of the older ones, and then Mackenzie Walden is the youngest one. Who else?
Who's the one that plays with the Senators?
That's McKenzie.
That's
Yeah,
what I thought.
yeah. He's
he's
the baby in the band.
He's the
Right.
baby.
He's the baby. But he is so talented. He can play anything. He'll pick up a horn, play a horn from time to time. But he's a great guitarist and bass player and
Flautist.
flautist. That's
He
right.
doesn't
I
play
forgot.
much flute on the stage.
Yeah, he did a little flute with you for that Christmas show that we did down in Myrtle Beach. It was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just so talented and can do a little bit of everything. And so it's kind of cool to have some new blood in the band and
Right, that's
somebody,
what I
especially
meant.
somebody like him that can be kind of a utility guy, can pick up and play anything we need.
Right. I just, we are almost out of time. We just heard the Swingin' Medallions hit me with them horns. And I tell you what, that makes them unique right there. And I hope you will make it out tomorrow night, Uptown Greenwood. The weather's supposed to be great. It's going to be a little cooler. That'll be nice. So that'll be great. And come on out. Tickets are just $30. You can get them at greenwoodperformingarts.org in advance, or you can purchase them right there at the gate. You know, I think, Richard, you and I talked about it a little bit last time, but I just want to say the formal that you do for the Burton Center is such a cool thing.
That is a lot of fun. That is probably the most appreciative crowd that we ever play for because they dance from the first note to the last note.
Yeah.
And they're so into it. And so we love being able to do that for them.
What's the one in Lawrence we did?
We do one for the special needs disabilities board over Lawrence too. Basically, the Lawrence County version of the Burton Center. We do one for them also. We've got friends over there that we went to college with that are in charge of that. And so, Adam Taylor.
But I mean, I just think that that's such a nice service to take your time and your talents and put it over there to them. I think that's really great.
Well, we all grew up here and we live here, and so we feel like we need to give back to the community when we can, and that's one opportunity to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a great organization.
So, as we finish up here, Shawn, you know, I think we've had a little bit going down memory lane. I asked you when we were off the air, and I don't know if you've thought of the answer yet. I'll go ahead and give you the opportunity.
I forgot what you asked.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. What would you do if you weren't doing this? I mean, since you've had a whole lifetime of doing this,
I
do you
know
ever
it.
say to yourself, I wish I could have done this?
I don't know. I wouldn't.
You
I
wouldn't
would
know.
just
You wouldn't.
do-
You
I would
wouldn't
just
dare
do
say
this.
it anyways. would
No,
you?
I don't know.
I wouldn't change anything.
I wanted to be a
I
scientist.
would do it all over
I wanted
again.
to be a scientist.
You wanted to be a scientist,
Yeah, just like a physicist or something. But
right? Wow.
Maybe, but
Yeah.
it's too much work.
Too much work.
Too much school.
You know,
Too much
there is
schooling.
something about doing. I mean, like not what you. I don't do what you do, but there is something about sitting down at a microphone and just start talking and just being able to do that and not have to do a real job.
And that's the question.
That's
That's
true.
the question that we
It's
get.
a
probably-
real job. Though.
And that's the question we get when we're on the road. Well, you know, you guys are great, but what's your real job? They can't believe we get paid enough to do this. You know, I guess actually make a living at it, but
And have
Like
fun
this-
doing it.
And
this,
have
is,
fun.
this is my real job. What are you talking about? You know.
I think it's been a great joy to be able to do and travel and meet the people that you've met and meet some of the stars that you've met and everything. Are you ever going to write a book about it?
Maybe. I don't know.
You know, Carol Bledsoe wrote a really good book about it, and if you ever get an opportunity, that you can find it online, and we sell them at the shows too. You can find them on our website.
That's a
But
good start.
It's a good start. He basically covers maybe the first 10 years of the band, but we need to kind of pick it up and maybe finish
Well,
it.
I just think
Kinda-
that would be a
kinda-
good thing to
kinda-
do.
It took us a long time to get this song out. A book is. I don't know. We might have to wait a little while.
I suggest you start now. Just a chapter
Okay.
at once a week, once a month. Do a chapter.
Little
How
short
about
story.
I mean,
that?
they might have a
Sorry.
disclaimer on the they might have a disclaimer on the cover, you know, explicit lyrics and explicit words or whatever. You know.
Well-
It might have to come with a rating. Might have to come with a rating.
Yeah, I do what I call the Penny Diaries here on the radio, and I give little tidbits about what Penny has done, is trying to remember things and
That's cool.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so the Penny Diaries. So let's see. As we finish it out, anything else you'd like to say here this evening, guys?
If you like that song, you can go ahead and go online now and pre-purchase it, pre-buy it, and when it comes out Friday morning, you will have it.
Okay.
There's links on our Facebook page. There's a link on swingingmedallions.com where you can go online and actually go ahead and get the song. And that helps us out. If you do that, you'd be doing us a favor, because we want to keep continuing to do this and do other songs.
Wait another 50 years and put out another one?
Well, we've got other songs that we've got other songs in the funnel.
If we're lucky.
Cos Weaver in Nashville, our record guy that played with us for many years, has a saying called "filling the funnel."
Right.
And he says, what comes out at the bottom is kind of the finished product, but you got to keep filling the funnel.
Right.
And so we've got other songs that we're kind of
so we're going to keep releasing them now. That we
now that we've figured out how to do this and do it the right way,
right.
If this goes well, we'll continue to keep doing
Even
that.
if it doesn't go well, we're still
Well, then, of course, it's always your definition of what is well.
That's true. It's
I mean,
subjective.
some people would be satisfied with 100. Some people would be satisfied with only 10,000. So, it kind of depends what your definition
Just
is.
glad we got it out. That's all we needed.
Yeah, well, it's a relief to have
an
it done and over with and
accomplishment.
released.
Yeah. Now we move to the next one.
Yeah, and that, keep it rolling, keep it coming.
Yeah. How do you like my old in what was that called?
You
It
can
was
push it.
push the buttons, but it was for in your booth. You could play music. You didn't even have to get up, and that's from one of the old restaurants.
Kenny's Pond had one.
McKinney's Pond had those down in Georgia, the place that we
And then
play. What was the place? The Panorama.
Panorama
Out of Lake
had it.
Greenwood had those. I think
didn't Waffle House or Huddle House used to, years ago.
I think Blazers had those maybe at one point out at the lake. Yeah. Those old jukeboxes.
Yeah, in the sea, and you didn't have to get up, so you could keep playing the same song over and over and irritate people, and nobody would know.
Just come in with a pocket.
Unless it's a good song, and then everybody loves it.
Come in with a pocket full of quarters.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming out. If you'd like to see the guys, please come out tomorrow evening right there in Uptown Greenwood at the Marketplace. Greenwood Performing Arts is doing a toast and a taste to Greenwood. It's going to have 3 local artist bands playing, plus the Swingin' Medallions, and you're going to have 3 excellent chefs cooking up good local food for us here, and you're going to have libations from different breweries and wine. You can't miss this event tomorrow night, Uptown Greenwood at the Marketplace. It will be gated off, so you do have to get a ticket to get in, folks. So it's only $30. Come on out and see us. Shawn and Richard, thanks so much for coming out today.
Thank you, Ann.
Great being here.
Absolutely. We'll see you tomorrow night. Let's play that song one more time as we close it out. There we go. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right, do it loud in a weird voice. That's a bad idea.
Blowing like you've never blown before. Get everybody moving on the dance floor.